All right. My name's David Meyer. I'm the creator of the Infinitely Powerful Souls Mastermind Group. This is Mark Newby. We're part of an international mastermind community that operates according to the golden rule. We create multiple sources of income through the mastermind principle as described in the book Think and Grow Rich. We're doing a very informal masterclass today on vision work. This is the third week in a 4-week series on vision work. And vision work is something that you do every day for the rest of your life. It's the secret of the most successful and the wealthiest people in the world. That's something Marissa Peer talks about in her book, I Am Enough. She literally says that, you know, the most successful people, the most fulfilled people in the entire world, the one thing that they've really mastered in life is their conversations they have with themselves. And the average person, I think you know this, Mark, but each one of us has up to 350,000 conversations with ourselves every single week. That's what is known as our self-talk, our daily self-talk. And within us, you know, the subconscious mind is keep playing these tapes or these visions, millions of visions over and over and over again. And those visions are those 350,000 conversations we're having with ourselves every single week. We talk to ourselves more than anybody else talks to ourselves. Do you get that, Mark?
I definitely agree on that, and that's where our beliefs come from too.
Yeah, and beliefs or subconscious convictions control all of our conscious actions, control all of our feelings that we have about ourselves, that we have about other people, that we have about our potential as a human being, what we can be, do, and have. And so these 350,000 conversations we're having with ourselves every single week, the typical person is not being very conscious about what those conversations have. And up to 90% of the thoughts that we keep playing in our minds are on repeat, or they're recycled. So we go through our life decade after decade recycling these same thoughts, these same Richard Bliss Brooke, who we're mentoring with right now in the Mach 2 seminar, says that these are our visions. Each person has millions and millions of visions about anything they can be, do, or have, or anything they can imagine themselves being and doing and having. So the first thing I'd like to do, just very informally, anybody watching on YouTube, we're going to add as much value to your life as we possibly can today, but I'm on vacation, so I don't have any fancy slides. I don't have anything to wow you or impress you. I just want to share what we've learned about doing this process. I'm 36 days into a 90-day vision. This is the most consistent I've ever been doing anything like this in my entire life. I'm going to share with you some tips and secrets to help you really master this art of contacting and releasing the limitless power of your subconscious mind through daily vision work. But Mark, you're I think 8 days into your vision, right?
11 days in.
11 days in. Can you just share some of your experiences, your thoughts, struggles? Just share anything you can. I'm just going to shut my mouth and just let you explain like what it is like, because one of the things Richard Bliss Brooke says is the first week or two, you will like want to quit. And like, I think it's like 99% of people do quit and never do it again. But how's it been for you so far? And what have you learned about yourself?
The biggest thing I learned was by keeping track of it, like you taught me, is the biggest thing, because by doing that, well, you can't really see it, but by doing that, you're held more accountable. I feel held more accountable to it. The last 2 previous days, it was really rough. It was rough trying to do it, pushing myself to even try to do it. And then all once yesterday, it was like, wow, amazing night and day difference, like a light switch turned on. And that's where the accountability, to me, really helps out, keeping track of it every day, how many times you're doing it. Right now, I think the lowest I've been doing is 4 times a day on it. That's a minimum I want to do. I'd like to do more, and some days are just hectic. but it's amazing because yesterday, after those two low days of doing it, yesterday it just seemed totally different. When I was saying it out loud, I seemed more confident and more reassured and wanting to do it. It was totally different compared to the other 2 days prior that was struggling to even push myself to do it. And I think that's why, like this process, like you said, to keep track of it. To me, that means the most to me, because I know if I can just push through, um, and see the difference. Yesterday, when I was talking to, saying this out loud, my vision work out loud, I could even tell how I was expressing it and the tone of my voice and everything. So amazing. And I'm 11 days in. But like you said, I think after the further we go along, the more days consistent we're with this, I think we're going to find out how moving it can be for us and how much of a change in our lives it'll be, to the point where we want to continue it for the rest of our lives. I can see now where people give up and stop and that, but that's where accountability, and also the part of having a master class like this and having um, you to be an inspiration also to help keep me going in that. And I appreciate that, David.
Yeah, you're welcome. I had to really motivate myself on this, because this is, anybody watching this on YouTube or anybody who's not here with us physically, you're not going to know this, but this is our second time doing this. And I totally, absolutely failed epically the last round. And what that means is, this is me and Mark's second time going through the Mach 2 workshop or seminar with Richard Blissbrook. Richard Blissbrook was worked at a chicken plant back in the 70s. He was making $3 an hour. He had chronic low self-esteem, had all these issues that really stand out as something that you're like, you would never picture him as being one of the most successful high performers and high achievers in the world. But he used daily vision work to go from making $3 an hour in a chicken plant to making up to $40,000 a month in a 4 or 5 year time period. And he did that through daily vision work. And it's really interesting because he transformed every single thing about who he was as a human being. I mean, like, you would never guess that this guy had not only chronic low self-esteem, he was horrible with relationships, with people, with his bosses. He was really floundering and failing epically in life. And the first time I went through the vision workshop seminar, I put together my vision, which that was good. I actually did that. And then every time I looked at it, I really just never got into it. Like I would try to repeat it like 3 or 4 times a day, but really half-assed, like half-heartedly. I had a hard time believing that the work was worth it, as Richard likes to say. I for some reason, I didn't feel like the work was worth it. So I kind of like really half-heartedly did it. And he says in one of his, master classes like we're doing right now, he says that you'll get to about 6 days or 7 or 8 days, and you just won't want to continue, because the subconscious mind, there's a law called the law of compulsion, which is, just a fancy word for saying the law of habit. But the subconscious mind likes to do everything compulsively or habitually or repeatedly. It doesn't like it when you start playing around with habits, especially habits of thought. And my mentor, Joseph Murphy, wrote the book, The Power of Subconscious Mind, said thought is the most powerful force in the universe. But very few people ever actually control their thoughts. Paramahansa Yogananda said, when you start to control your thoughts like we're doing, you become the controller of your destiny. And it's something that requires an extraordinary amount of discipline. And Mark, you mentioned keeping track of your results. I want to share my screen because I want to just give people an example of what it looks like to keep track of your results and why that is so important and why that's going to help you become a master at the art of contacting, releasing the limitless power of subconscious mind, and taking your life to a whole nother level beyond anything you've ever imagined possible. So I'm going to share with you really quick here. I can only do this on my phone, and I don't usually do these master classes on my phone. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I see your screen.
Okay, I'm going to pull this up. This is how I keep track of my daily vision work and my goal work. So goal work is what Earl Nightingale taught us about, and vision work is what Richard Bliss Brooke taught us about. Richard Bliss Brooke said that vision work is, quantum leaps, 10 times or 100 times or 1,000 times more powerful and effective than just doing goal work. But here you can see I started off day one, and those little symbols, those are Om symbols. They represent the infinite spirit to me. That's, Richard Bliss Brooke talks about the infinite spirit. The Native Americans called it the Great Spirit. Christians refer to it as the almighty power and presence of God. The Jews refer to it as, I am, the great I am, or Yahweh, Jehovah. There's many different names for it, but it's the only presence and the only power that exists in the universe. And we're all one with that presence. But every time I would do my vision work, say it out loud in front of a mirror or just say it out loud, I would put a little symbol to register that I'd done it. And then my goal work below is how many times a day I said my goal. So I started on day one, and can you see this, Mark? Can you see it? Are you there? Did I lose you? Hey, Mark, are you muted?
Yeah, there. I was muted.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it. I'm just trying to see if people can see this. So as you can see, yeah, I had my days where I did it 4 times. And that was day 6. I mean, it was exactly like Richard Bliss Brooke described it. Like, until I got to about maybe the 3rd week, it felt like a struggle. It felt like I was forcing my mind to do something that it was very resistant. But as you can see, as I got in here, I started saying my goal out loud more often. And my goal, I say it in an affirmation, just like Bob Proctor teaches. So I just say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a Crown Ambassador in Organogold. Thank you, God. I always put gratitude to God, to the universe, to, whatever you believe is the thing. I always put gratitude into that thing because I know that it's that thing that makes these things happen. It's something above and beyond just my physical self. But as you can see, as I started to progress into the days, I started getting more into it and started really, I feel like Mark said, started enjoying the process more. I started putting these little green check marks to kind of keep track of some of my productivity, some of the things that I was doing that were good for me or made me feel good. And day 31. So like ultimately I do my best to try to say my vision up to 10 times a day and my goal up to 10 times a day in an affirmation. So basically saying as if it's here now. And I just started my day off, but like I went to the gym this morning, and the first thing I did when I got in the van is I started saying my vision on the way to the gym. Saying my goal in an affirmation, and on my way back from the gym, I said it again. So I've already knocked out 5 times before the day is even started. I can honestly tell you, I'm going to stop my share now. I can honestly tell you, in the beginning, I would have never done that. Can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah, I would have never, just went done 5 times before like 9 o'clock. When I first started, like just doing once or twice or 3 times felt like an eternity. I was like, oh my gosh, like I felt exhausted, like mentally exhausted but now it's just like, it's just something that I keep doing. And a real key is you have to get your vision. I have a very long vision, but it doesn't matter if it's long or short or in between. It doesn't matter what it is. You have to get it into your memory. Would you agree, Mark?
I totally agree, because when you get it in your memory, what I found out was when you start getting it in your memory, I start having more expression in it whenever I say it out loud too.
Yep. Yep.
I catch myself and I'll re-say some of it because I'm not saying it like I want it to.
Yeah.
Come out even. I totally agree on that.
Yeah. And the thing about your subconscious mind, it's up to 1 million times more powerful than your conscious mind. So your subconscious mind, I mean, I can't really get into all of it right here, but one of the things it does is it creates 70 trillion volts of electricity in every single cell of your body. So, the Bible says, let your light shine. Literally, there's 70 trillion volts of electricity in you that are ready to shine through you. And that's a miracle. I mean, that's literally a miracle that your subconscious mind has that level of power, that level of energy. I mean, we're dealing with the most powerful force in the universe. Nothing even comes close to, Sri Chinmoy said, your soul is infinitely powerful, meaning it's the most powerful force in the universe. 70 trillion volts of electricity every single second of your life. I mean, the amount of energy, required to create that. But then when you get your vision in your memory, it's in your subconscious mind now. And that's the real key. Neville Goddard said a change in feeling is a change in destiny. Richard Bliss Brooks said the whole point of vision work is to motivate you, self-motivate you into action, and to change the way you feel about yourself, about the world, about everything, to change your feelings. And your subconscious mind has the memory capacity to store memories for up to 1,000 years. So think about that. The typical person isn't even living to 100 years nowadays, and their subconscious mind could literally store enough information to last 1,000 years. That's how many visions you can put in yourself. That's how many thoughts you can put in yourself that can completely and totally transform your whole life. Because, the Bible said, let the weak say I am strong. Thomas Troherd, who was like one of the key people in metaphysics back in the day, said you cannot think in one way and act in another.
Right.
You can't think I am strong and act like the person who thinks I am weak, or the person who says I'm so out of shape. The person that says I'm so out of shape isn't going to act like the person that thinks and feels and believes I am strong. And that's the real key about vision work, is because we have these 350,000 conversations with ourselves every single week. We have 350,000 opportunities to put new thoughts into our subconscious mind. And Joseph Murphy wrote the Power of Subconscious Mind. He said, once the subconscious mind accepts a thought or an idea, it immediately begins to execute it. I mean, you can't even see it happening. Like, would you agree, Mark? Like, you can't see thoughts becoming your reality. They just do.
Right. You start catching on to little things that you did differently that you weren't presently doing before. And you start tearing away that self-limiting beliefs that you have on certain areas too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not something that you see, but it's something that if you start noticing it a little bit, and it's like, wow, I'm starting to do this differently, or vice versa. Exactly. And totally agree on you can't think one way and do something different and do it differently. So very true on that. It's just so amazing, because if you think about it, if you're not controlling your mind, controlling your destiny, basically, then you're just wandering around and not doing what you could possibly do. You could design your own life the way you want it.
Yeah. The Bible said where there is no vision, the people perish. Literally, that means where there's no vision, the people are literally dying instead of living. They're not, and the Bible also said that God is life. The miracle of life, that thing that's creating 70 trillion volts of electricity in us, it's something that is supernatural. It's something that's divine. It's something that is mysterious. It's something that doesn't necessarily belong to religion, but it does belong to us. We're a part of it. It's a part of us. You can't separate yourself from it. Only in your thoughts can you create a separation from this divine power, this divine presence. You know, what I refer to as God. Some people call it the universe. Doesn't matter to me what you call it, just to understand that it's all around you everywhere you go. It's within every single cell of your body because it represents infinite intelligence, or all the intelligence in the entire universe. The Native Americans said that the Great Spirit always hears you no matter what. Like they said, you don't have to speak in a certain way. You don't have to speak louder, or you don't have to do anything. It is always listening because it is the only thing that actually is. Because consciously, I don't know how to create 70 trillion volts of electricity every single second, even while I'm sleeping, but something in me. And another thing about, you know, to talk about the Bible said that God does not sleep. You know, it mentioned that God does not sleep. The only thing else in the universe that doesn't sleep is the subconscious mind. It never sleeps a second of your entire life. So I'm 44 years old. While I'm sleeping, my heart is beating while I'm sleeping. My subconscious mind is making like 400 million complex chemical reactions happen every single second. You know, it's creating 70 trillion volts of electricity. The key to understand is everything the subconscious mind is doing is success. Everything is successfully done. This presence that we're attached to doesn't know how to fail. It only knows how to do things successfully. So the closer we get to it, the more we identify with its qualities, its powers, its attributes, the more we start to express those in our lives. And that's why it's so powerful to say I'm strong, because this entity that we're dealing with, God, is not weak. And it's not powerless. It's not any of these things. I was thinking about something we could talk about. This has been a fascinating trip, and I'm glad we got back into it, because I fell off my vision work thing, and then he was doing the next seminar and workshop. I was like, we got to just go for it and just see where this leads, because I know he's right. I mean, Richard Bliss Brook, nobody knows what we're talking about here, but he's entered us through this process, and I know that he's on to something.
Definitely. And you can see his life and see where he's come from. And that's the biggest thing. You can see where he's come from and where he's at now. And we're just blessed that he's got these programs to help us, to mentor us, and to help us to go to the next level. And it's amazing too. I think a lot of it is not only each time you go through it, you get nuggets, except this time it seems like a gold mine to me, as far as each person is at a different level, or something catches their attention more that they need to work on, and so forth.
Let's talk about the little circle, big circle. So anybody who has missed the first masterclass and the second masterclass, you can check those out on YouTube. But the little circle, big circle, I want to talk about that, because that is what we're doing here in Vision Work. Is we're making stuff up. You know, Richard Bliss Brook talks about it like you get good at lying to yourself. Like that's what Vision Work is you start to realize that every single thing about yourself as a human being, you made up based on events that have happened to you. And this is something I want to ask you a question, so you can share with us what you think the little circle and the big circle is. But I want to share with you something that happened to me this morning. So I was at the gym, and I was doing a little treadmill workout, and I was doing these rope pulls that are really, really hard workout. And I was thinking to myself, one thing I've always struggled in my life was just feeling like I'm strong. like just feeling like I'm a strong person, especially on a vegan diet. Like I've exercised for years, but a lot of times I'm a smaller guy. So sometimes I don't feel like I'm strong. And I connected that to events that happened in my life, which I always knew this, but I just never thought about it. But Richard says that all these events happen to us in our lives, and that represents the little circle, the event that happened to you. And then all the stuff in the big circle is the stuff you made up about yourself, and you made up about this world, and you made up about people, and you made up about everything surrounding that little circle, that little event. So back in 4th grade, my mom put me in this private school, and we'd been moving all around the country from school to school. And this was the first time I was just struggling, just hardcore to find friends and get people to like me. And everybody was being mean to me and picking on me and just kind of like singling me out. And it was hard because we'd moved around so freaking much. And we finally get to school at 4th grade, and I can't seem to get any friends at all. Like I could not get any friends. I finally ended up finding 2 friends just randomly at a park one day. I just ran into these 2 guys that were doing all these weird obstacle courses in a park. We ended up becoming best friends, but I couldn't find any friends at school. And one day I wore a shirt like this, a shirt that shows your muscles. And all these people were making fun of me, and they're like, man, next time you wear a muscle shirt, why don't you like actually have some muscles? And they were just like hardcore, like saying mean things to me. And I wasn't used to just, and it just hurt my feelings so freaking much. And I never wore shirts like this that happened to me when I was in 4th grade. So I was probably like 11 I'm 44 now. The only reason why I wear these shirts is because my wife buys me all these shirts. And she even told me, she's like, you're really strong. These shirts look good on you. But for 3 years or 32 years, I avoided wearing shirts like this just because people picked on me in 4th grade. And I was thinking when I was at the gym, I said, how many visions around that event or those events are holding me back in these states of self-sabotage, these states of chronic self-sabotage, chronic procrastination that are literally like they keep you stuck in a rut in life so you will fulfill that self-limiting belief. But you share with us, anybody watching on YouTube, anybody in our Infinitely Powerful Souls Mastermind group, what does the little circle and the big circle mean to you, Mark?
It means so much because the little circle and the big circle, one thing I wanted to go back to was about the, making up the vision work. It is somewhat lying to ourselves because we're just not there yet. But at the same time, our self-limiting, our subconscious mind has been replaying all these little things from the events in our previous childhood or whatever, and all those have been a lie too. So then we might as well turn that around and do the positive effect of it on that. It means so much because it makes so much sense. We can do a little event and we can start thinking of all kinds of stuff and making it so much out of proportion to what it really is. And then you start believing in it. And that's where we self-sabotage ourselves and have limiting beliefs. And that's where the only way, and it makes so much sense when you start thinking of how the little circle of the event, what really happened, that we made a mountain out of a molehill, basically. And the only way to overcome that, and I know this is so true now that I've been doing it and it's just 11 days in, is by doing this vision work, by reprogramming our subconscious mind, our beliefs and everything, that we are strong, that we are um, we can do whatever we want to do if we set our mind to it.
Yeah, and if when we realize that everything is made up anyways, that
Right.
we've made so many of these millions and millions of visions that we're carrying with us throughout life, and we could literally carry them with us until our dying breath. You know, one of the things that got me started on this journey is I was going through a divorce in 2016, and I remember reading that Oprah Winfrey said the biggest adventure you can go on in life is to go after your dreams. So I wrote a book called The Big Adventure because I'm like, it's like I want to start doing that instead of just trying to find like a relationship or trying to find like that special person, because that wasn't working for me. You know, like that relationship ended, and I was like, man, how many years of my life have I been looking for that, you know, special someone, trying to relive these romantic comedies that I've seen or whatever. But I remember reading that 5 of the most common regrets people had when they're dying is one of them was they didn't live the life of their dreams. They lived a life based on what people expected them to do instead of living a life based on what like they truly love to do, what was important, you know, like really going after something that was meaningful and gave their life a sense of purpose. And so much of that has to do with these millions of visions that we carry with us that hold us back. You know this fact, but up to 97% of the people in the world are either in a green or a red light vision, which is a state of chronic self-sabotage, or a yellow light vision, which is a state of chronic procrastination due to the visions they have, these thoughts they keep recycling throughout their lives. And the point of daily vision work and doing it for the rest of your life is to shift from being a red light vision person, a yellow light vision person, to being a green light vision person, which is the high performers, the high achievers, the winners, you know, the people that are successful every single day. They have that feeling of, you know, that feeling that I'm a winner. Like they feel that feeling that they're winning, that they're succeeding, that they're accomplishing, that they're achieving, that they're making progress. Like ultimately that is the goal of vision work, is to create that feeling and that belief that every single day you are making progress, that you're moving forward, that you're going onward and upward and Godward, as Joseph Murphy always used to say. And, you know, that most common regret people have when they're dying is the thing that you and me are working to not have that regret.
Right. I totally agree. Just trying to, it's so amazing when you start going through this and realizing it. And I do believe, I almost think that either a person's moving forward or they're moving backwards. I don't think you can just stand in one way. I think you're either going forward or backwards.
Yep.
And this is the one step that I feel the major step in overcoming all the self-limiting beliefs, all the self-sabotage, um, and be able to open up your mind to what a great future you have before you. Um, it's so amazing to finally realize that you can actually control your thoughts if you just work on it, and it's got to be a daily thing. And I do believe you have something here as far as keeping track of it daily. Really, really has helped me out because those 2 days are really low days for me. I still struggled and fought, but I still made it through it, you know, and I didn't give up. I wasn't going to give up because I want to see this thing through. I want to see what difference it is, and I'm already can tell a difference. Yesterday, I couldn't do it enough, you know. I wanted to do it. I enjoyed it and everything else. Um, and it's so amazing because there was a saying, and maybe you know it, David, but it's about shoot, how much potential and everything, the loss of potential there is, and the biggest loss of potential is in the graveyard.
Yeah,
People
Les
that
Brown said that.
okay, that's what it was. And it's so amazing, you know, how much potential we have available to us that we could do in our lives. And it all goes back to that little circle, big circle, as far as events that happens in our life, and what that's made us believe in ourselves, the beliefs around us, and also not only the events that's happened, but also how we were raised differently. Your grandfather, your cousins, whatever, did things a certain way or something, and they had different beliefs or something, and you may be carrying those beliefs too, and you don't even realize it where they came from. It's just something that got into your subconscious mind when you were little or whatever, and now you're self-sabotaging yourself, and almost like a lid on top of yourself to stop you from growing in certain areas, and letting you know by doing the vision work, it allows you to overcome those self-sabotage or self-limiting beliefs, but it also allows you to use your full potential at the most. um I just can't wait to get my 30 days in or more.
I love that.
And you know, we've been through this, been working on it, and it's a blessing. Richard Bliss, um, and you too, with the inspiration and everything, motivation, um, helps keep accountable. And this masterclass, working together, improving ourselves, and helping each other out, trying to encourage each other, and try and improve and share it. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's not only the vision work, but also the journey along the way also.
It is. It is. I mean, like, it's that feeling and that belief that every single day I'm winning, every single day I'm succeeding, every single day I'm growing, I'm progressing. But also, one of my affirmations and one of my visions is I am grateful for every moment of my life. It's that feeling of perpetual gratitude for every single second that you are here, and there's people that you love and care about that are here, and you can be an example to them. You can show them a better way by doing your daily vision work. So I want to switch gears here. I've talked a lot about God because that's something that's important to me. I know it's important to you. Whatever your beliefs is when you're watching this, when I say God, I want you to think of love. I want you to think of light. I want you to think of light. I mean, inspiration, divine guidance, intuition. I want you to think of truth. I want you to think, Jesus said God is a spirit and God is truth. Those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. Truth and spirit are everywhere. There's no place in the universe that you're not going to find truth and spirit, which to me is another word for energy or presence. I want you to think of beauty. So love, light, truth, beauty, life. I want you to think of the miracle of life. That's what I'm referring to when I'm saying God, but I want to talk about the devil now. So I think this is important to vision work. So the Bhagavad Gita, which predates all religions, it was written before organized religion showed up. It said that wrong thinking is the only problem in life. So the wrong thoughts is, thinking the wrong thoughts every single day is going to be the main problem you're going to have in your life throughout your life. And daily vision work is to fix that problem. My mentor, Joseph Murphy, wrote the book, The Power of Subconscious Mind. He said, right thinking is always miraculous, being the power of God in man. It's the most powerful force in the universe, and it's God's power in each and every one of us if we use the right thoughts every day. And the Bhagavad Gita also said, if we don't control our mind, it will become our worst enemy. And if we do control it, it'll be our best friend. So, Richard Bliss Brooke points out how 97% of the people in this world, 97 out of every 100 people are in a state of chronic procrastination or chronic self-sabotage. So that means in this world, 97 out of every 100 people are doing more to sabotage and mess up their lives than any single person in the entire world. So that is the devil. When there's a being or something that's doing more to mess up your life or sabotage your life than any single person that's ever existed in human history or is here right now, and that person is here simply because you're thinking the wrong thoughts every day, that is your devil. That is, like my mentor, Joseph Murphy, said, a lot of people have a superstitious belief about the devil. But that belief can cause a lot of problems in your life, because there is no entity or being that's going to spend every single waking second of the day trying to self-sabotage or mess up your life other than yourself. And it's taking responsibility and accountability for your own life when you do daily vision work. And you realize when you replace those wrong thoughts, those millions and millions and millions of visions that you have for every single thing you could ever possibly imagine, with the right thoughts, you can make miracles happen in your life through the limitless power of your subconscious mind over time. This is something you do every single day for the rest of your life. Do you agree with that last statement?
I totally agree. And I think the biggest thing is, it may sound like a hard thing to accomplish, but it's almost like anything else you do. Like that old saying of how to eat an elephant one bite at a time. And I think it's just like this, I can't wait to get 30 days in of the 90 just to see where I am and then move on from there. I think it is once you feel it, once you start noticing the difference in your life, I think that's going to change it where you want to do it and don't want to stop it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the way I look at it, when I say wrong thinking is the only problem in life, Psychology Today found the average person thinks up to 1 million negative thoughts every single month. So when you stop doing daily vision work, Richard Bliss Brooks said your mind is like a vacuum. And as soon as you stop putting those miraculous, all powerful, thoughts, in your mind that represent the most powerful force in the universe. Joseph Murphy said thought is the most powerful force in the universe. As soon as you stop putting the right thoughts in your mind every single day, up to 10 times a day, 4 times a day, it doesn't matter. Just do it every day. Your mind is like a vacuum. And those millions of negative thoughts that the typical person thinks every single month, they're going to just be sucked right back into your mind. And then they're going to be on played like a tape, like Dr. Bruce Lipton says. He said your subconscious mind's like a tape player. It just keeps playing the same, song on repeat your whole life until you actually change it.
Right. And you're never going to overcome the little circle, big circle, everything that's been played in your life up to now. You're never going to change any of that until you start doing some of this affirmations, vision work, and so forth. Until you start doing a positive, but you got to do it. I think the biggest thing is the biggest thing is consistency of it all too.
Yep. Consistency is taking advantage of the eighth wonder of the world, which is compounding, taking advantage of the fact that when you do this every single day for the rest of your life, this is a $5 million habit, like Richard Bliss Brooks says. And if you do it every now and then, it's a habit that's worth a couple $100. It's really not going to make anything happen in your life, and you're not going to believe in it. If you don't do it consistently, you won't actually believe that you're using the most powerful force in the universe in the right way.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like if you actually do it every day for the rest of your life, then you start really realizing that experience of compounding. You know, my mentor, Joseph Murphy, said that whatever you focus on or give your attention to or your awareness, it multiplies and it magnifies and it grows in your subconscious mind. Jesus described it as you put the seed in the ground and that seed produces anywhere from 30 to 60 to 100 fold. If you put an apple seed in the ground, you don't get one apple.
Right.
You're going to get 100 apples or 500 apples or 1,000 apples from one tree. And it's the same thing. When you plant an idea or thought in your subconscious mind, you're not going to get one reward. You're
Right.
going to get, you know, countless blessings, more answered prayers than you could ever possibly imagine, just from a simple thought, like I attract good fortune.
Right. And the big thing too, and that's one thing I like about this masterclass, is not only to help us grow and everything else, but it's also an avenue of us to reach out and help other people in the process too.
Yeah. Well, and I can totally feel that. I know you can feel it, but anybody watching this on YouTube, I mean, this is the real deal here. Like, this is, I know anybody watching this on YouTube is going to feel that this is something that will actually transform your life. This isn't, I've been frustrated with a lot of the law of attraction stuff out there because sometimes I get the feeling that people want to buy into the fact that there is no work involved.
Right.
And Richard Bliss Brooks said that the work is worth it. It is work doing this vision work every single day. I mean, it's some of the hardest work I've ever done in my life, because you're getting out of your comfort zone. You're getting out of the place where you keep doing the same thing over and over again, which is the thing you're comfortable with doing. And you start doing the thing that's uncomfortable and new and different and feels different, feels weird.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you start realizing that there truly is infinite greatness within each and every one of us. Mm-hmm. And that infinite greatness is tied to thoughts. You know, the Bible said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And it said we were given a spirit of power, love, and self-discipline. You know, vision work really, really encapsulates those three ideas, you know, divine power, love, you know, service to humanity, to each other, like we're doing right now, and self-discipline. Because this is the most self-discipline I think I've ever exerted in my life. Like, keeping track of those results, that is the most self-disciplined I feel like I've ever been.
Right. But and that's where that keeping track of it comes into play so much. And it helps out whenever you get to the low points, but then also you can start expanding it like you have. And that's what I want to start doing too, is writing down more things as I go too. Because then on your low days or anything, because we're all going to have those days, it's not going to be that good. We're going to have our low days no matter what. But at the same time, we have that to look back on and say, we made it this far. We're not going to quit now.
Yeah.
And to help verify. But I think that after you get so far, I think it's going to get into it. Well, how many days does it take? Usually 20 days for a habit?
There's varying research on that. Some people say it's 21 days. Some people say it's 66 days.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where it is. There's a book called The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma where he gets really deep in that stuff. It's a fascinating book, and I would like to mastermind on it someday as a group. But I don't know where that sweet spot is.
Yeah.
Where the habit develops. But right. I agree. Like, what I found is when I wake up, like when I woke up this morning, I started saying my vision. The first time it felt good.
Right.
But when I was 4 or 5 times in, you know, you feel like so much different than when you wake up and you say your vision. when you're 3 or 4 times in, you just feel like you're just like Superman. You're just like, wow, like, you know, you really start feeling the emotional vibration associated with all those thoughts.
Right.
And your subconscious mind is associated with the involuntary nervous system, which is where you feel things. And the conscious mind is associated with the voluntary nervous system, the physical part of you, where you feel a vibration, but it's associated with thoughts.
Right.
So it's really, you know, that this is definitely going to become a habit, but I feel like in the morning when you first say it, it's kind of like, yeah, that was good, but it just gets better and better, and it keeps compounding on itself throughout the day.
Right.
And towards the end of the day, you just feel like you're on fire. Like Richard Bliss Brooks said, you like feel like, wow, you know, like, ah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely agree.
So do you have any words of wisdom to share with us before we end this call, brother?
The biggest thing is that one of my biggest purpose in life is just to help people, and you can't really help people unless you're at your full potential. And I feel like this is the only way to do it. And tried every other way, and just like I can't remember who it was, Steve Harvey maybe. He says, "You've tried it this way, and how's that been?" You know, and basically, and that's where I'm at. You know, you've tried it your way, you've tried it this way. Let's try it a different way. You know, and this vision work already. You know, 11 days in, and I'm already seeing things and loving it, and greatly appreciate it, David.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you. I'm so glad that you made the decision to join us in the Mach 2 seminar workshop the second time, because I know that was like it's a difficult decision. Even myself, I kind of was like, geez, I already did that. I already was through that workshop. What's the point of going back? And something inside of me told me, it's like, you know, you got to just do this. I'm like, this is the real deal. Like, I've been studying this stuff long enough to know that this is real. This will work. The work is worth it. Joseph Murphy starts the book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And he said, you know, I've seen miracles happen to all people in all walks of life, all over the world. And he said, miracles will happen to you too when you begin using the limitless power of your subconscious mind. And it's something that, you know, you brush your teeth in the morning, you brush your teeth at night, and there's not one point in your life where you're like, well, I'm just going to quit doing that. Because you know that the consequences of stopping brushing your teeth would be catastrophic.
Right.
I mean, literally, you would lose all your teeth. But you know that it's a habit that has to be done every single day to really realize the true benefits of something that's as simple as that. But you know, my wife watches these hoarder shows. And it's the same thing. If you're going to clean your house, you need to make it a habit. You need to make something that you're doing all the time. You can't just stop cleaning your house for, you know, 10, 20, 30 years. You know, the consequences are catastrophic, you know, and it's the same thing with your mind. The Bhagavad Gita said, wrong thinking is the only problem in life. You have to always be doing spiritual and mental house cleaning. You always have to be putting the right thoughts in there that are always miraculous. They're going to make miracles happen in your life. And they're going to make it so you contact and release this limitless power of your subconscious mind, which the Bible described that. It said the prayers of a righteous person are powerful and effective. So every time you say that affirmation in your vision, like, I am strong, I am massively productive, I attract good fortune, you are contacting and releasing the limitless power of your subconscious mind. You're making miracles happen in your life. And you're being that person. You're living out that scripture where it said the prayers of the righteous person are powerful and they're effective. That means they actually make things happen. So I'm going to end this masterclass on this. I truly believe for an informal masterclass, this has been our best one.
Right. Right. That one, you had quite a few good, what do you call it? Words of wisdom that you've shared. The one that hit me this morning was the one that said, your mind is programmable. If you're not programming your mind, someone else will program it for you.
Yeah.
And it's so true. You can take control of it if you want to. And this is the only way that I've seen. And it makes so much sense. We can
Yeah.
either be telling us such negative lies, or we can start programming ourselves to be better and become what our full potential.
Yeah. Super proud of you, bro. Keep up the good work. Okay. Thanks for doing the work. Thanks for realizing it's worth it. And I'm super excited because you are going to be able to help so many people. There's 97% of the people in the world that need this. And we're not going to be able to reach all of them because some of them are, they're going to be closed-minded. Their hearts are hardened. They're not going to see that the work is worth it. But if you can help transform one person's life, you can transform a million people's lives. Like if you can touch one person's life, you can touch millions and millions of people's lives. And I mean, that gives, your life, my life, it gives us a meaning and purpose, and it makes our time here on earth more sacred.
Right. Leave a legacy.
Yeah. Touch people's lives, transform people's lives, help people see that the devil is nothing more than a thought, the wrong thought, and you don't have to keep thinking it.
Correct. So very cool.
Dude, I love you, brother. I'll be praying for you and your family. Let's do our next masterclass next week. And then after that, we're going to do a 90-day session on self-talk, mastering self-talk through the teachings of Marissa Peer, because she said very clearly that the most successful people in the world have mastered their daily self-talk, the 350,000 conversations we have with ourselves every week. And it ties right into, our vision work. We'll just keep doing our vision work every day and learning from somebody that uses this work to literally transform people's lives in ways that, are just miraculous, truly miraculous.
Sounds great. Have a great vacation. I'll be praying for you and your family. Be safe, brother.
Yeah. Thanks, brother. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.